welcome. It is the Nisha Jackson Show. I'm Rusty Humphries, and that lady right there drinking that magical Brand X is Nisha Jackson. And tell me about Brand X real fast, would you?
Brand X is a drink, an energy drink. The drink was actually originally put together, formulated to be the natural rival to 5-Hour Energy.
Sweet.
But good for you.
Yeah.
So it boosts your immune system and help your brain open up and improve focus and concentration, help your recovery, help your workouts, lower inflammation, and taste delicious.
And it does indeed.
And 5-Hour Energy, I'm sorry. Drinking that stuff out of that little plastic thing, well, this tastes delicious.
Yeah, and you wonder how many years it sat at that 7-Eleven.
Ew, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting ripe sitting there.
5-Hour Energy is really not an awful supplement, but this is much better.
Okay, so you get Brand X at takebrandx.com. That is takebrandx.com. Also, as you're remembering to subscribe to this show and to share it because it's so important, make sure you go to check out nishajackson.com. Find out everything we're going to be talking about here and more. That's nishajackson.com. So earlier today, I was hanging out with you and your friend, and we were talking about certain things, and I couldn't remember two things, and I'm so shocked.
You couldn't even remember Mark Twain.
I was going to say, I could not remember Mark Twain, and I couldn't.
Sermon on the Mount.
Sermon on the Mount, thank you. Mount of Beatitudes, I couldn't remember that, and I also couldn't remember the city Fallujah that I almost died in. That's not good.
Well, we're going to fix that because, like you said, we need to kind of optimize your levels, to kind of reboot you a little bit. Now's the time. But also, sometimes there's just times when you are feeling like nobody is home upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Like your brain is cotton candy. Like it's not working.
Right.
And it's kind of scary because then you start thinking, do I have like a brain tumor? Do I have dementia? And this is a very common thing people think, but typically it's not a brain tumor or dementia at age 30. We're only 30.
Yes. Yeah.
Typically it's not that, right? That would be really, really unusual. Typically the answer is very simple. And that is there's something going on that's keeping your brain from being optimized. So I just thought it would be good for us to do a little show about brain fog and how you could turn your brain on a little bit more.
Is it something that's fairly easy to fix? I mean, because I felt really stupid today, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it is easy to fix, but I think sometimes also we get sort of short-circuited in our brain. So even if you're doing everything right, your hormones are optimized, all your nutrients are optimized, you're sleeping well at night, all the things that we're going to talk about in a minute, if all of those things are happening and you're still kind of spacey in the brain, it might be that you're just asking too much of your brain. And this is pretty common, especially for women, is they're trying to listen to somebody. Well, this is true for everyone. Listen to somebody while they're Googling something else on their phone, while the TV's on and somebody's in the other room asking another question.
Okay, right.
So your brain can't work like that. It cannot process that many things at one time because it's going to short circuit. So sometimes we just have to be realistic about what we're asking.
Okay.
You just straight up didn't know the answer today.
I mean, I knew the answer. I just couldn't grab it. I couldn't grab the information.
You couldn't bring it. But I think yours is more hormone related.
Okay.
And we're going to fix that.
Yeah.
So what causes brain fog? This is super simple as it pertains to nutrients. So you have to have nutrients for your brain to work. You've got to feed your brain what it needs to make the brain chemicals that help you process. If you don't have a diet that's feeding you the nutrients that feed your brain what it needs to process, focus, concentrate, and remember, it won't do it for you. So it's like trying to move your car with no gas. It doesn't work. So don't get frustrated about the fact that you can't remember anything or you can't focus or you can't concentrate. You should be focused on, one thing you should be focused on is nutrient deficiencies. So one of the ways that we have nutrient deficiencies like vitamin B12, B2, B6, B5, and all sorts of minerals in our brain. One of the ways that we are deficient is that a lot of things can go wrong. Number one, we just don't have it in our diet and we're not supplementing with it, or possibly our diet is so high in sugar and processed carbohydrates like flour and chips and breads and things like that, that we are causing an overgrowth of a bacteria in our gut that does not allow us to absorb the nutrients. So let's say you're feeding your kids all these really sugary, yummy, gummy vitamins.
Yes.
But the kid is also eating a ton of sugar. It's super counterproductive. That would be like taking a sleeping pill and a few shots of espresso at the same time. Okay. It's very counterproductive.
Okay. All right.
So you don't want to be putting stuff in your gut that disrupts your body's ability to absorb the nutrients that you're taking in from your food or from all of those supplements you just paid a fortune for. So we want to make sure that your gut is optimized so that you are taking advantage of all the nutrients that you are feeding yourself, or you just need to start feeding yourself the nutrients. Like B complex is a really simple one. To get your brain to focus, to have less cravings, brain chemicals are related to your body's perception of pain, focus, concentration, memory, all of those things. You have to give it B vitamins. B vitamins are precursors to all of your neurobrain chemicals. In fact, I remember doing this radio show one time, Rusty, years ago, and I said it's really important to correct a B12 and sometimes even a B6 deficiency when you're depressed. And if you're suffering from depression, instead of running out and getting antidepressant right off the bat, maybe one thing you could do is just take B complex. I like the complex rather than just B12. Take a really good B complex. We have them in our office. I've sold the same brand for 25 years.
NishaJackson.com. Go to NishaJackson.com.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a sublingual B complex. It tastes good. It absorbs really well into your system. And anyway, a listener listened to this show. She'd been suffering from depression her whole life. She started on these B complex drops that we had in our office, and she called me about 2 months later, and she didn't call. She sent an email, and she said, "I just want you to know my depression is completely gone."
Wow.
Completely gone. All she had was a nutrient deficiency.
Wow.
So, and she probably had terrible brain fog too. So this is something that can be easily fixed. Another reason why you might be having brain fog is hormonal imbalance, like we were just talking about with Rusty. If you're a man and you have low testosterone, I'm sorry, your brain ain't going to be working so well. Your focus, attention, irritability, anger outbursts, patience, lack of drive, zest, creativity, all that's just going to be completely rock bottom. So, and I think some men, Rusty, feel that they don't necessarily have those problems because it's been happening for so many years, kind of like this insidious onset. They don't know it's a problem till they feel better and they look back and go, wow, I really was kind of feeling flat.
I can attest to that. You know, once you get the optimization, it really changed your life. And I can really tell that I'm not optimized right now.
Yes.
And so, again, if you think that you're not in optimal space, you go to NishaJackson.com.
And low thyroid. If you have low thyroid or even borderline low thyroid, unfortunately, thyroid levels are, I feel, a little ambiguous because they were tested. The reference ranges were set so many years ago and really based on very sick thyroid patients. And they're not really relevant for healthy patients today or healthy people today. But anyway, the ranges are so broad that if you're anywhere in that range, your typical medical provider would say you're fine. But you might be very symptomatic for low thyroid, and brain fog is one of the symptoms of low thyroid.
Okay. Not
getting enough sleep. You have to repair and restore your brain while you're sleeping. So if you're waking up consistently throughout the night, maybe investing in some supplements that get you to sleep earlier and deeper, getting that REM sleep so you can recover your brain and before you wake up.
And not trying to do a sales pitch, but I've used that PM sleep that you have. That's really a good product.
PM stress, yes.
PM stress, thank you.
Yeah, PM stress is such a cool product. We have an AM stress and a PM stress. And we should talk about this because I think it's the number one cause of people not sleeping well is they can't turn their brain off. Or they wake up at 3 a.m. and their brain's racing. They're just thinking about the 17,000 things they have to do the next day and they cannot shut her down.
Yeah.
So that's cortisol. Cortisol is like adrenaline. So you're supposed to have a lot of that when you wake up in the morning, and then it's supposed to be dead low when you go to sleep at night. So if you find that you can't turn your brain off, or you're waking up in the middle of the night and then you really can't turn your brain off, PM stress might be something that would work really well for you.
And you can get that at nishajackson.com.
Yes, yes, you can. So anyway, so I just wanted to go over those because I think that those are things that are really important to know about brain fog is what is causing it. And likely it's one of those things we just talked about. So giving your gut good balance, get on some probiotics, eat less sugar and flour, consider a B complex supplement, a ginkgo biloba and the sticks. Drink supplement is also really good for opening up your brain and waking up your brain. Sometimes people just hit the wall in the afternoon and they just need to be hydrated. Drink a full bottle of water and with some nutrients and antioxidants in it that opens up your brain. So just being aware of what your body needs and what your brain needs to optimize itself is really where it's all at.
All right. That's good stuff.
And move it or lose it. Exercise.
Okay.
Exercise gets oxygen to the brain. Move it or lose it.
Okay.
We don't want to lose our brain. Gosh, I really don't want to lose my brain.
No. And
I'd lose almost anything but my brain.
well, do yourself a favor because you don't want to lose your brain either. So go to nishajackson.com where they have the supplements she's been talking about. And these are the highest quality supplements found. Nisha personally has gone through and found these particular supplements, and they're the good stuff. It's not like just some garbage you don't know if it's going to work or not. This is really good stuff. Go to nishajackson.com. Also, takebrandx.com where you can get your brand X so you can have that nice mental jolt at night, not at nighttime, in the daytime.
Yeah, I probably don't want to do it unless you want to pull an all-nighter.
Yeah.
But that would not be good for brain fog.
No. Okay. But Take Brand X would be good for brain fog,
yes,
right?
Take Brand X is excellent for brain fog.
All right, go to takebrandx.com, subscribe to the Nisha Jackson Show, and share it. We do appreciate you. She's Nisha Jackson. We sure appreciate you. I'm Rusty Humphries, and this is the Nisha Jackson Show.